Okay, so this is the back page. Look at this. We're not going to do this because we have not discussed the average velocity or the kinetic theory of gas. All right, and we're not going to do this either because we have not discussed diffusion. Okay, we are going to do this because this is only what? This is volume of oxygen, 1. This is the volume, V of nitrogen, 1. And look, they're both put in a container, and this is V2. Okay, look. This one is T1. This one is T2. Oh no, P1. Okay? So, let's look at our cheat sheet and find out what formula we're going to need. Okay, we have volume, we have temperature, and we have pressure, and therefore it's going to be this one again. Okay, a little more complicated. What are we looking for? We're looking for pressure. Okay, and look, oh, temperature is going to be the same, so no, we do not need that one. We only need volume and pressure because the temperature is constant, right? No pressure. So, what are we looking for? We're looking for P2. Okay, so again, look at our cheat sheet. We're looking for pressure and volume, that one, right? So what is it? P1. And what is V1? It is the volume of the oxygen plus the volume of the nitrogen, right? Because we're putting both of them. So they each have volume, so it's combined. Is equal to P2 divided times V2, right? And we have our V2. So we're looking for this. This becomes the denominator of that. So let's solve for P2. And what's the unit? Kilopascals. Write that down. kPa. Okay? Is equal to what? V of oxygen, which is what you started with, plus the V of nitrogen, divided by the volume of the flask that you put it in is the V2 times P1, right? So let's substitute the values for that. And what is it? It's 495 centimeter cube plus 877 centimeter cubed divided by, this one is our V2, so 536 centimeter cubed. Okay? But don't forget, you have to multiply this, right? So we'll put it here. It's what? 114 kilopascals. Okay? And what's the answer? P2 in kilopascals. Hopefully you know how to do this. Do I have the answer? Okay, I have an answer, but I have not verified that this is correct. So please use your calculator and calculate these numbers, okay? You shouldn't just be copying. You should be understanding. And to understand, you have to do it yourself, okay? So it's kilopascals. And always, please, circle your answer, okay? Okay, let's see. What are we doing here? What is this? Again, this is how you understand the problem. You just circle it, decide. ml is volume, so that's V1. Look at this. ml, so that's V2. What is this? P1. It says initial, so that's why P1. And if the temperature is constant, so no temperature, right? And it says here, what is the pressure? So that's what. After what? That's what you're looking for? P2. Okay, you have to put here P2 is equal to what? Okay? All right, so again, what is our formula? Okay, it's V and P, so it's the same. So P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Okay? And if you're looking for this, this becomes the denominator here. So it's P2. And what's the unit we're looking for? Is atmospheres. Okay? Pressure is much easier because there's no conversion. It's only temperature that you have to convert. Okay? So let's see. If the units cancel out, we're fine. Okay? So what is it going to be? V1 over V2, right? Times P1, right? See that? This becomes the denominator here, and that's what that is. Okay, and so let's look for the values. V1 there. That's why you have to designate it when it's in the words, because if not, it's going to be really hard to figure out which one's V1, which one's V2. Okay, look, V2. Okay, so always try to be methodical. That's the way to get a correct answer and a high grade. Okay, you got to learn this stuff. Look, P1, P1, that's what I need. 145 atmospheres. Okay, cancel, cancel. The answer is in atmosphere. What we're looking for is in atmosphere. So, no problemo. Okay, and what's the answer that I got? I don't have one. Hi. Okay. Be sure you're in degrees. Can you see what you cannot see what I am doing. Oh boy. Okay, I guess I have to explain it again. So, V1, 75. This one is also, so it's V2. This one is P1, and we're looking for what? So, pressure 2. So here, okay, again, the formula is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. And then what we have to do is, if we're solving for this, you put that on the other side, that becomes the denominator. So it's V1 over V2, there, V1 over V2 times P1, which is that, okay? So substituting the values, you look, V1, that's the one, there. V2, that's the one, because you've already written it down, okay? And then P1, right? So you have to put these variables here. That's the easiest way to do it. So don't start doing it here and then look, where is that? Because you'll just go crazy, right? We don't want that. So 75 divided by 500. Okay, so we expect that it's going to be a very small number. So times 145. Okay, it's 21.75 atmospheres. Okay, and look, this cancels with that. We're left with atmosphere, so it doesn't matter. Okay, all right, let's do the last one here. What is this? V1. Can you see it? Let's move it down some more. What is this? Ooh, what is that? That is pressure, P1, right? The height of Mercury. Okay, and this one is, T1. Okay, determine the volume. So V2 is what we're looking for, and we're given, what is this? This is P2, and this one is T2. Ooh, hard, 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 hard. Not really. Okay, all we need is P, V, and T, because we're given all of those. So we write that down here. P1 V1 over T1 is equal to P2 V2 over T2. Okay, and then we look. So when we write down your answer, you have to know what it is you're looking for. Okay, V2 is equal to, so we have to get rid of first the temperature. So we multiply it there, that becomes T2 over T1. So we write that down. T2 over T1. Okay. This one we have to get rid of. It becomes the denominator. It becomes P1 over P2. So P1 over P2, right? And then what we're left with, V1, okay? And you have to have the same units for all, okay? The only one that you have to convert is the temperature. So what is T2? 200 and, okay, whenever you start with this number so you don't make a mistake. What is temperature 2? Look, T2, okay? Don't make a mistake. Don't get them switched. Okay, it is 37 degrees centigrade. Divide by what is temperature 1? Look for, there it is, and you have it, T1. Okay, it's 270 minus 16. Oh, sure, plus. Not minus. It's only minus if it's negative. See? Almost made a mistake. Okay, what's the pressure? This one is pressure. It's P1. P1 is this one. Millimeters of Hg. Okay? And this is also pressure. And what is that? P2. It's the denominator. Millimeters of Hg. Okay? Then times the volume. What is the volume? 400 and ml. Look at this. Cancel, cancel. This is now Kelvin. These cancel out. So you're going to be left with ml. Okay, I'm going to do this because a lot of people seem to have a hard time using their calculator. Okay, so if you're going to do this, what you have to do is 270 plus. That's okay. They get the equal sign. Okay, because it's a denominator, divided by, you have to use a parenthesis. Parenthesis, this one, okay, plus 16, okay? Now you have to do equals, okay? And that kind of looks right because look at that. It's almost going to be the same, so it's 1, that's correct. Okay, so you multiply that by, you have to practice doing this in your calculator. And divide it by, okay? And look at that. So it's going to be very close. Times equals, ooh, just a little bit more. So what is that? Here you have to round off, okay? And if you're going to round off, that becomes 470. 470. What is the unit? Don't forget the unit, ml, okay?